Sakpaseyo. I'm Christy and today I'm going to do a watercolor tutorial slash review. I'm a beginner myself and I've learned a lot and I wanted to share what I've learned so far. So let's jump right into it. Let's start with 2 jars of water. You're going to need one to clean your brushes and the other for dirty water so you can keep your colors fresh. Next thing you're going to need is a paper towel or cloth. You'll need this to dry off your brushes, remove excess water, and clean up any messes. I definitely recommend washi tape. This is optional, but it will help hold down your paper and keep everything in place while you paint. I'm going to be using the MeiLiang 52 set watercolors. They kindly sent these to me to review, and I absolutely cannot wait to show you guys this set. Paul Rubens MeiLiang 52 watercolor set has 2 different color cases. They sent me the purple one, which I'm so happy they did because you guys know purple's my favorite color, but there's also a blue case as well. So inside the watercolor set, you'll find a pamphlet that has printed colors. I don't recommend using that as a guide. Definitely use the swatch that they provide. And then they also provided 10 pieces of watercolor paper, which is super awesome. I don't think I've seen that before. And then 52 beautiful watercolors are in this set. I did find that the pans fit pretty tightly in the case, so it was a little tricky to move them around and rearrange if I wanted to. It does also come with a pigment liner, which I was surprised to see. And a pencil, as well as a paintbrush. They also kindly gave us a sponge as well to use. This entire set is $35.99, which is a great value for everything that you're going to get. The case is really lightweight and portable, so it's easy to take it with you whether you're painting at home or you're on the go like I usually am. So I'm going to start swatching so you can get an idea of what the colors and the pigment is like. While I think this paint set is great for beginners, I think it would have been helpful if they added the number of the paint to each of the little trays. That way it's easier to reference back to, because once you remove the paper that comes with each tray, you don't really know which color is which until you swatch them again. So definitely take note if you plan on moving the colors around the tray and reorganizing them. You'll probably have to make note of which color is which again. I finished swatching the colors, and I must say these are just beautiful. They're highly pigmented, including the 2 metallic shades that are in there, gold and silver. The set is definitely designed to give you a good range of colors to work with. So now I'm just experimenting with some of the colors. I wanted something between the 2 browns that I have, so I decided to mix the 2 colors together. This is why I also recommend having a little tray, an extra tray to add your paints to, because you're going to be mixing colors sometimes and it's nice to be able to pick up the color from that little tray. I finally found the perfect brown, and now I'm doing the same thing for the blush and lip color. And you'll see me do the same thing for color of her outfit. I wanted to have all the colors in the tray to easily pick up as I'm painting later. I also wanted to mention that I love that they included a color chart with the set that lists the colors in order, pretty much, more or less. So it's really handy to help you keep track of the palette, especially when you're mixing your own colors, because I've had swatches I've had to do and the colors were all over the place and it just became so incredibly overwhelming. So that is a definite plus, especially for beginners. Now let's get into some basic watercolor techniques. So the first one is going to be a wet on dry, which is what I'm doing, which is what I always do. As a beginner, I feel like it's much easier to do wet on dry. This is where you apply wet paint on dry paper. It's great for creating crisp edges and like defined shapes, kind of like what you see with my blush. You can do a wet on wet technique. This is when you do wet paper first, so you dampen the paper and then you drop in the watercolor. Paint will spread and bleed on its own, which creates a beautiful, smooth effect. But I get really nervous as a beginner to do this because I can't really control what's happening with the colors. So I definitely recommend a wet on dry technique as a beginner, but of course, do what makes you feel comfortable. Another important thing to remember is that when you're painting with watercolors, you typically want to build your colors from light to dark, which is why you see me use very, very light colors or a light amount instead of doing a very deep color. So I start with a light wash and then I gradually build and add more pigment as I need for shadows. I really love these watercolors because the transparency really helps with building colors and they blend so nicely together. Blending while the paint is still wet will give you the soft, seamless look that you're seeing in my painting. But definitely don't be afraid to let it dry a little bit between the layers if you want a little bit more control. The texture of these watercolors are so smooth and not chalky at all, so you don't get that gritty feeling with some of the budget watercolors you can get. So as you can see, a little bit of paint goes a long way. I honestly barely have to use paint because of the high pigmentation from these watercolors. And I'm using the same paint, like I haven't had to dip it again just to go back to add more color to her face. So that kind of gives you an idea. I really, really love these colors. And I feel like they're very like cost effective as well. So it's finally time to color the hair. I'm gonna use black. So I always get nervous using black because like it's kind of hard to remove off the paper. So I use really, really tiny brush to get like the corners and stuff like that. You'll see that I accidentally went over some of the stars, but don't worry. Near the end, I'm gonna go back and add a white pen over some of the stars to bring them back to life. Definitely always wait till your paint dries to go back on top of it with a pen, or else you're kind of probably gonna ruin the pen and it'll probably look a little muddy when you add pen on a wet surface. So now that I'm done using the black, I'm gonna clean my brush and wipe it down on the little towel that I have, and then wet my brush again and add some of the yellow paint to color my moon and my stars. So it's basically my process. If I'm ever transitioning to another color, I make sure to clean the brush that way. And I don't use dirty water. I rarely ever use dirty water. I know there are techniques as to why you would use it, but I haven't really found a reason to use dirty water yet. So I always clean my brushes, especially when I'm picking a new color, and then I paint with clean colors. So I usually go back and add another layer on the skin tone, but I absolutely love the way the skin tone turned out with this paint set that I decided to leave it alone. So I feel like with this set, you probably won't even have to layer as much because of how the colors are so vibrant and pigmented. It's just so perfect. I'm in love with this set so much. It's probably my new go-to watercolor set now. I highly recommend them. Okay, so now that I am done painting, I can put my brushes away and start adding little details once my painting is dry. And I'm going to use a little white pen. It's a gel pen, really. I'm gonna go and fix my stars and add more sparkle lights to her hair so it looks like a night sky. And then my painting is done. Let me know if you also look stressed when you're drawing. I never realize it, but I think I look stressed every time I'm drawing, but I assure you I am not stressed out. I think I'm just thinking a lot. So there you have it, my finished watercolor piece. Overall, the Paul Rubens MeiLiang 52 watercolor set is a fantastic option for beginners. It's affordable, it's versatile, it's portable, plus you get everything you need to start painting right out of the box. Whether you're learning basic techniques or experimenting with your own style like I am, this set gives you a great foundation to build on. Thank you so much, Paul Rubens, for sending me this watercolor set. Thank you so much for watching. Let me know what you think of my art piece and what you think of the watercolor set, or throw in a star in the comments, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye!